Guys, welcome to another interesting tutorial. I'm Yinke, and today I'll be showing you how to make a summer play suit. And the picture of what I want to make is here on the screen. You can see, and the material I use for making this type of play suit is a crepe material. It's a flowered crepe, and it's a kind of stretchy, and it has a lightweight. So it's not too light, but at least it's not a heavyweight material. So the first thing we are going to do is to draft our pattern. So this is a detailed tutorial because I'll be drafting the pattern, and after the pattern we'll go on to the sewing machine to sew our play suits. So let's get started without wasting much of our time. Draft your basic bodice pattern, and you're going to draft the vertical measurements. And this here are my vertical measurements. The breast point is 10, the under bust is 13.5, and the half length is 16. So here I'll be placing the cup because I'll be using the cup to draft this type of corset. I'm going to place the cup ½ inch above the under bust, and before I do that, I'm going to input my nipple to nipple measurement because that will give me a direction of where I'm going to place my cup. So the nipple to nipple measurement here on fold is 3.5, and if it is not on fold, it is 7 inches. So you can input your own nipple to nipple in this area. So after you have done that, after I've input the nipple to nipple, I will input the waist dart. The waist dart of 1 inch is input on the half length, and I spread it out to half inch on both sides. So I just did that, then connect it to the bust line. So I connected it to the bust line, and after I connected it, I can now place ½ inch on this part, ½ inch also on the center front here on the upper chest line. So after I've connected that, I will use my ruler to bring out the straight line, just as if you want to draft your basic corset pattern. So this is a corset, but it's a kind of corset that you'll be using a ready-made bra cup to construct. So after I've done that, I'll come up here by ½ inch and place my cup to be able to draw out my cup. So the cup will be, I'll be using this ready-made cup to create my corset. So after I've done that, I'll come up from the bust line by 2 inches or 1.5, depending on how you want to expose the cleavage. So I still want it to be modest enough, that's why I came up by 1.5 from the bust line. So I just drafted my cup out and connected to the upper chest like so. And here is the neck width, 3 inches neck width is input, and here I input width of 5 inches from the center front. So I can connect like this if I want to make a queen Anne neckline, but in this tutorial I'm not making a queen Anne neckline. I will make a normal strap like you see in the video. So here I'm trying to input my circumference measurement. The circumference measurement divided by 4 will be input as shown, and after I have input it, make sure you input your dart intake. The dart intake, wherever you take the dart, replace it in your measurement. So after I've done that, I will come up here by 1.5. I'll come up here by 1.5 because the armhole is kind of, it wants to look like off shoulder, but not proper off shoulder. So I'll just connect my cup like so, then I'll trace it out properly like so. I'm trying to trace out my cup on the dotted lines. So after I've done the tracing of the cup, the shoulder slope of half an inch is taken here. Shoulder slope of 1 inch is taken here. Then I have 7 inches left as my strap. So take note of the strap length because you'll be using it to draft your strap later. So then the armhole curve, I just input the armhole curve like as shown, and here I completed my strap. So this strap, by the time I will cut it out and use it to draft my long strip that I'm going to attach to the off shoulder to make it form the proper top. So this is the strap. I will label it as the strap so that if it is lost, I can still get, I'll be able to identify. So here, take ½ inch round your cup. Inside of your cup, take ½ inch round. Then after you have taken the ½ inch round, This serves as your sewing allowance so that the cup will not be too wide by the time you cut out your pattern. So that's the essence of doing this. So after I've done that, I'm almost done with my pattern drafting. Later on, I'm still going to take a dart at the side. That's the bust dart. So when we get there, I will let you know. So the next thing is to draft the pant part. So the pants will be drafted as shown. Take 12 inches. Then after taking 12 inches, you take 10 inches. On the 10 inches is your hip line. The 10 inches is my hip line. 10 inches from the waistline is my hip line. So after I've drafted, input my hip line as HPL and CR as my crotch. CR means crotch. The crotch from the waistline is 12 inches, while the hip line from the waist is 10 inches. Take note of that. So after I've done that, remember when you want to fold your paper, make sure your paper is on fold because of the extension of the crotch when you get to this part. So make sure while you are drafting, make sure the paper is on fold. So I just bring out this line is the center front. This line is the center front, and I'm going to extend my crotch as shown and input the cross extension of 2 inches here. 2 inches is input here. Then I'll connect to the hip line just the way we used to draft our basic trouser pattern. So here is I just input 1 inch there to draft my curve. So this is my crotch curve, and after I've done that, I'll connect to like 1 inch here. I'll connect to like 1 inch here. So that's my inseam. So I have a very short inseam. So I'm almost done with the front pant pattern. So here I will input the circumference measurement of the hip line divided by 4. So I'm using 40 divided by 4 will give me 10. So I just input 10, and the waist measurement will be input here. Remember, there is no dart. There is no dart on the lower part. I mean on the pants, there is no dart. It's only on the blouse that I put that because of the corset. So I just input the waist measurement on the waist without that, and later I will input the sewing allowance. So here I take the measurement from the up. I have 27 on the hip length, but originally my hip length is 26. Because of the sewing allowance, that's why it falls on 27. So here from the hip length, just take 3 inches upward. Take 3 inches upward. That will be what you are going to use for the Basque line. So I'll be creating the Basque like so, connecting to the inseam like so. I just took 3 inches up from the hip line on the side seam and connect it to the inseam. So I added sewing allowance of 1 inch like so, and I'm done with the front. So when I'm done with the front, it makes the back work easier. So I added sewing allowance on the upper part, also 1 inch sewing allowance. So I can go ahead now to the front, labeling this as center front so that I will not forget. This is my center front. So I'll cut out my front pattern and go ahead as I'm cutting out. So I'll be taking note of some basic parts. So I'll take note that I have not added sewing allowance on the neckline, on the strap, and the strap I'm going to add the sewing allowance when I want to cut the strap later on. So after I've done that, after I've cut this out, this is what I have. I'll create the basque by removing this part. So this is label front, so I'll remove it like so. So the basque has been created, and we are almost done with the front. The next thing to do is the dart will be folded inward like so, and I'm going to create the side dart. The side dart will be created. Side dart of just 1 inch will be created. I think I lost the video clip there. So I've created the bust dart. The bust dart has been created. Bust dart of 1 inch, and I'm going to use my paper tape to fold it inward before I use it to cut on the main fabric. So by the time I remove the 1 inch bust dart, the back will be shortened by 1 inch. So while I was cutting the back, I have cut the back pattern. I just added sewing allowance to the back pattern using the front pattern, and I shortened it on the waistline by 1 inch because of the bust dart. I hope you get that. So if you are familiar with basic bodies, you will understand this. I have tutorials on all of these methods on my channel, so I'm going to leave the link in the description box. So here is the back. I want to draft the back pant right away that I'll be attaching to the upper part. So I just extended the crotch by 2 inches. 2 inches is enough for me because I don't have a big back side, so I use 2 inches. For somebody that the back side starts from 45, you can use 3 inches. So I just connected the back, so I just used the front to draft the back. The only thing I did is the crotch extension by 2 inches. So I use it to trace it out, and this is what I have, so I can connect it to the back pattern. So after connecting it to the back pattern, this is what I have. So I'll go ahead and trace and cut out the strap like so. Remove the strap and also remove the cup. So after I've removed the cup, I'll place the cup, the ready-made cup, and see how it fits, and close up the dart. I will first of all close up the bust dart and also the waist dart. So I can go ahead and use it to cut the fabric. And here is my cup, so I'll go ahead now and drape my cup. So draping it, I'll be covering it with the fabric. This is the fabric I'll be using. I'll be covering it up with the fabric and be folding like half inch. I'll be folding half inch inward and use my office pin to hold it on the cup. So I'll be holding it on the edges of the cup as shown. So I'll just go ahead and do that and make sure I have a uniform pleat. So I'll make sure I have a uniform pleat. So whatever I have done to one cup, I'll do to the other cup, so it must look the same. So in the video, actually it was not draped, but I just thought of it that I should do something different a little. If I drape the cup, it will bring out the beauty more and makes the work unique. So I'll just go ahead and whatever I have done to one cup as said, I will do to the other. So I'll use my pin to hold it, and when the cup has been covered up with the drapes properly, I'll go ahead and cut out. I'll cut round the cup. So I'll cut it round, leaving sewing allowance of half of an inch round the cup. So I will leave sewing allowance half of an inch round the cup, so that I will have a sewing allowance whenever I want to attach it to the pattern, to the upper part. So after I have done this, after I have cut it out, this is what I have. I can go ahead now and iron it properly. So I'll first of all iron, and after I have ironed, the first thing I will do is stitch it round. So what I'm trying to do here I'm trying to draft out my cup, the cup I will use for the lining. So I'll measure 3.5 inches round. This 3.5 inches is supposed to be my nipple to nipple measurement. So I will just measure 3.5 inches after I have input a plus sign. So starting from the center of the plus sign, I will input 3.5 inches round, just as if I'm creating a circle. So I will take that of half inch on both leg of this dart like this. I'll just take half inch, like I'm taking a dart, half inch here also, then connect it to the center point. So before I get to the center point, that's where I will stop, so that there won't be a pointed edge. So I'll connect it to the center front like so. I'm trying to create the cup I'm going to use for the lining. Remember, we did not draft the cup, we used a ready-made cup. So we need to draft something that we are going to use for. So this is gotten from what I drafted from the cup inside. I'm using it to create the neckline, so that the neckline will blend with that of the lining. So after I have done that, this is the center front, CF, and SD means the side, so that I'll be able to know which one is for the side and which one is for the center front. So I have created my cup so that I will have what I will be, this is what I will be using to lining the ready-made cup. So after I have done that, I'll go ahead and cut fabric and put interfacing. Fusible interfacing is put on it to give it a structure, and I'm going to join together like so. I'll connect, join together like so, like I'm creating a new cup, a ready-made cup. So I'll do the two, because we have for the two busts. So I'll create the two, and whatever I have will be used for the lining of the fabric. So I'm done with this part. So I have the cup I will use for the lining. So I have cut another material that this is for the lining. So this is the upper part, so I'll create the lining first before I'll now create the main dress. So I'll go ahead now from this point where the dart location, that's where I will start from, so that it will be, the cup will be properly placed. So after I have sewn with 1/2 inch, I'll go to the other side and complete it on the other side. So I'm using this method because I want the cup to be well placed. So I'll continue on the other hand like so that I'll be able to have a uniform placement. So having done this, whatever method I use for this, I will use the same method for the other side. So if you are using this method, if you are not draping the cup, this is the method you can use to create the one that is seen on the picture where the lady was dancing. So but for the draped one, this is how you are going to create the draped one. I hope you get that. So this is the draped, and I have ironed it. The next thing to do is to remove the pin one after the other and stitch on the tip of the cup. So you can see I'm stitching on the tip of the cup in order to hold the cup in place. But make sure you use a matching thread, so that by the time you fix your cup to the center, to the front, to the front panel, you'll be able to, if even at all the thread is showing, you'll be able to just remove those thread. So use a matching thread. So after I have stitched it round, I can still trim it a little bit, but leave the sewing allowance, So I'm trying to get where the dart is, so that I'll be able to align it properly while I'm fixing the cup. So you need to take note of that. So I'll be placing the cup inside now. I'll be placing the cup. So I have my two cups ready, then I'll place it right away. So I will start from the upper part. So this will be placed like so. So you can use your pin to hold it if you think it's not convenient, but I think I can do it even without a pin here. So I'll use the sewing allowance of 1/2 inch. Then make sure you do it gradually. In this video I fast forwarded it, so that's why I'm fast. You can't do it, it can't be as fast as this if you are sewing. So you need to take your time, do it gently, so that you have it will give you a better result. So after I have joined the cup to the panel, this is what I have. So I will employ this method for the other side. So you can see now that I've taught you two methods of making a corset cup. I taught you the one in the video, and I also taught you the drape. So this is the strap. The strap, remember the strap is 7 inches, so I cut 14 inches because 14 inches will be used for the front and the back. So if the front and the back is joined together, I cut 14 inches here, including the sewing allowance. So because this material is a stretchy material, so I do not need to add any sewing allowance to it. So here I'm trying to use facing for my back panel. So this is the back panel. So I'm using facing to turn the neckline of the back panel, and I will top stitch on the right side of the facing like so that the facing will relax very well. So this is what I have for the back. So the back is ready. I'll join the back using the back to the front using the strap. So the strap will come like so. Then I'll measure on the neckline how wide I want it to be before the strap comes in. I want like 5 inches, so I'll place it on that 5 inches, and I twisted it like this and join it by half of an inch sewing allowance. So I'll just go ahead and join by half of an inch sewing allowance. After I have joined that, this is what I have. This is beautiful. You can see it's coming out very beautiful. So I have my lining. This is where my lining will work. So I'll turn with my lining, turn the neckline now with my lining after the strap has been joined. So you can see how I flip the strap away from where the lining will be attached to the top. So here I will notch the neckline. And after I notch the neckline, I'm going to top stitch on the lining. So I use the main fabric also for the lining. I use the main fabric. So the method that I use to create the cup of the lining is the one they use in the video to create the cup of that dress. So after I have done that, this is what I have. You can see how beautiful it is. So if we did not create any cup for the lining, you can see that there won't be what you are going to use for the lining of the cup. So after I have done that, this is the pant, and I have the front here. I'm going to join the front through the crotch line. So I'll first of all join the front. 2 pieces of the front is what we have here. 2 pieces of the front and 2 pieces for the back. So the front crotch, the front and pant will be joined by the crotch, and I have joined it. After I have joined it, this is what I have. I will be joining it to the front pattern. I'll be joining it to the front block. Join to the front block by half of an inch. Then make sure you allow the center front to match with the center front on the front block. So here is also the back. I'm joining the back also, the back point through the crotch. You can see the crotch of the back is longer. So the longer crotch is for the back. So after I have joined on the crotch, I will open it up and bring my back and attach my back. So after I have attached the back, the next thing is to join the two together, to join the front and back together through the inseam, the short inseam. You are going to use it to join the two together, the front and the back block. So we have the playsuit is being formed already. So the next thing is to join together under the inseam, using the inseam to join together. So I've joined together by half of an inch, and we have our playsuit is coming out nice. So this is very beautiful. You can use this one for it can serve as a beach wear. It's a kind of dress that you can wear in the summer, and you feel comfortable. So this is what we have. The next thing is to join the pleated part. So I think it's not pleated, it's gathers. So I gathered this. So the length of the material that I gathered is 11 inches. So I measured 11 inches including the sewing allowance. So removing the sewing allowance from it, I think I have 10 inches thereabout. So I gathered it. Then make sure the measurement that you take there is ×3 of where you want to place it. So I open up my the playsuit like so. I open up the hemline. Like so. So this is our assumed hemline before placing the gathers. So I'll just open it up, and after this is how it is. But when I open it up, this is what I have, and I will take the measurement. After I open it up, I will measure ×3 of what is there. ×3 of what is there will be gathered and will be placed on this part. So I make sure I have at least ×3 of what is on this hem line on the pants. So I just gather it, and after I gathered it to the measurement that is there, I will now stitch it together by half of an inch. So just place it by half of an inch, Then I will do that gradually, and make sure when you are attaching your gathers, it is also uniform. Don't do it in such a way that the gathers will be fuller on one side and it will be scanty on the other side. No. So here is my sleeve. The sleeve also is being, I put gathers on the sleeve also. The length of the sleeve is 7 inches. 7 inches is what I use without the sewing allowance. So I gather the sleeve also. Like I told you that I measured 14 inches. So you just, with the sewing allowance of 1 inch. So I have 13. So I just measured 13 times 3. Gather times 3 of whatever is on your strap. So since I have the strap of 13 inches without the sewing allowance, I measured 13 times 3 so that I'll be able to have enough material to gather on the strap. So I just attach it like so. So this was not pleated also, it was gathers. So I will just attach like so, and we are almost done with this sewing. So we are almost done. So all my sewing allowance, I will use my overlocking machine to secure that and to make sure the work is very neat inside and outside. So the next thing to do is to join by the side seam. Input my sewing allowance, and wow, this is the result. You can see the result is very beautiful and the work is neat. The work is very neat. So we've come to the end of the tutorial. If you have any question, leave it in the comment section. I'm going to reply as soon as I see your question. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, don't forget to do that. Like and also share this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Until then, take good care of yourself. Bye.